Hey, what's up, guys? This is Sade with Third Generation Conjure. You don't know who we are. We are a spiritual company. We specialize in spiritual supplies, mostly catered to hoodoo. We have powders, oils, baths, spiritual services, you name it. We got a lot on our shop. So I wanted to get into this video and I wanted to talk about working for others when it comes to doing your root work, doing your spiritual work. Should you work for other people? Okay, so, and I'm not talking about working as far as in a context of someone paying you to do work for them. I'm talking about, maybe a family member, a friend that you might be doing work for. So I wanted to come on because I had something that transpired with a friend of mine, and I just wanted to come on and do an impromptu video and talk about maybe some possible pros and some possible cons of working for other people. Okay, so if you could like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also find us on our website, which is www.thirdgenerationconjure.com. We also run an Etsy shop, which is Third Generation Conjure. Like us on Facebook, which is Third Generation Conjure, and follow our Instagram, which is Third Generation Conjure as well. And I do have those links displayed here. Um, but yeah, oh, also before I forget, we are running our final sale of this month, which is 25% off. That will be going on this weekend, which is December the 18th through the 20th. We're also doing a fiery wall of protection group ritual, which will be happening on December the 21st. So make sure that you guys go ahead and sign up because spots are filling up quick. But this is the last sale of this year, and it'll probably be the last sale for a while. We are in the process of trying to revamp some things and work on some other projects in regards to the shop. But, of course, we'll still be up and running, but it just may not be any sales for a while. Okay. But yeah, so we want to talk about working for other people. And what are you doing when you're doing work? What are you doing? You're conjuring, you're working with spirit when you're doing work for anybody, when you're doing work for yourself, when you're doing work for other people. Spirit is what makes this work, okay? So, and whether that's working with spirit of your ancestors, some people like to work with deities. We personally only work with ancestors, which, I always tell people. So, like I said, in this practice, we work with ancestors and we work with spirits of herbs, which is what makes your work. Okay. And, I've worked for other people. So I always work with my ancestors. So, I may ask for assistance from someone else's ancestors on their behalf if I'm doing work for someone else. But we want to talk about it. This is not a picture of my ancestors. It was just a picture that I found for slide purposes because I know I show my hands, so I want to try to make it at least a little bit more entertaining. Since all I do really is just talk. But yeah, so I had a friend who had she recently just got into doing spiritual work. So she was actually doing some work for one of her friends who was looking for a job. They had got laid off due to everything that was going on with COVID, out of work for several months. Okay, so with no kind of leads, they've been applying for jobs, just wasn't really having any luck. So she told me about it, and I was like, okay, well, I can do a little work for him, and you can do some work for him too. Okay, so she did work for this particular person, block busting work, road opening work, steady work, employment, all that kind of stuff. So she actually had an interview for a company because she has a job, but she was looking for employment with someone else, just because she's kind of getting to the point where her job is just a little bit too stressful. So she was looking for another job. So she actually had an interview with a company, and she referred her friend to this company. Now she's in the middle of an interview referring a friend, so she's helped that friend out spiritually as well as went a step further and did something physically, okay, as far as referring the friend. So she referred the friend for the job. Now, my friend, the one, who I'm talking about, she she didn't get the job. Well, she didn't go through the final steps to, interview and all that kind of stuff, but She didn't even get that job, but the friend that she referred actually got that job and got hired on the spot the same day. Okay. So she did the physical work. She also did the spiritual work for this particular person. Okay. So what happens is that person actually has another job that came through as well, which may have been a result of that work too. So they had two jobs that came through at the same time. So they decided to work both of them. Okay. I'm all for that, especially if you've been going through a hard time, you're trying to get your money up, working side jobs, side hustles, two jobs, I don't have anything against that. So what happened with this situation is they got the job and something transpired to where the job that my friend had gotten them, they decided that they were just going to walk out of this job. Okay. So they walked out the job, and that's not like giving the job a 2 weeks notice, kind of she put herself on a limb to help them out, and they just said, to hell with this job, I'm finna walk out, you know. And even if that's the case, I know sometimes you get into different employers that, you know, um, it just may not be the right fit for you, but sometimes you have to stick that out until you can find something better and at least leave on a good term. So, first of all, they didn't leave on a good term at all. Okay. So, and I do want to say too that this person does not know that she works. Okay. So, like I said, sometimes we have to do things in secret because, they may not be open to that. So if you say, hey, I'm going to light a candle or I'm going to do some work so you can find another job or a better job, if they're not familiar with the practice and then they're one of those people that looks at it where it's evil or something like that, then they're going to put blockages in their work and in the work. So there's not even really a point of you doing it for them. Okay. So, they left that job and then immediately, like the next day or the same day, they got laid off from the other job that they left that job for. Okay. So that goes to show me that her work and her manifestation brought that job that they walked out on. And sometimes you cannot help other people. I'm not saying like I have done work for people and they didn't know that I did it for them. I might see them that they're struggling, whether that's family, whether that's a friend, whether that's even a client of mine. I may do work for them and they may not even know it. They may just say, hey, when I talked to you last week, things started to look up. And that's because they don't know that I did work for them, especially if they're the type and I can tell and I can feel that they're in a negative state, because you may come to me and say, hey, I've been trying to, get a job. I even been doing work for myself, but your energy is not right, so you may not be the best person to work for yourself. So if I had automatically told them like, hey, I'm going to light a candle for you so you can find a job, they may be like, it ain't going to work because my work ain't took, so then they're throwing blockages in my work that I'm doing for them. So sometimes you can't tell people, if you're working for them, even if they are familiar with the practice. Okay. And especially if they're not familiar with the practice, you don't want to just go around broadcasting that, you're doing work for someone. Also, I wanted to talk about gratitude. Gratitude takes you a long way. And I tell people you tend to see better results, especially if you are petitioning your ancestors for assistance. Now, don't get me wrong, working with your ancestors or venerating your ancestors is not just about asking them for things. It's actually building that relationship with them, and they will assist you. And sometimes you don't even have to ask, they will just assist you with what it is that you're trying to do. And you may just have something on your heart, something that's going on, and then you see things just start opening up and manifesting for you when you're working with those ancestors and you didn't have to go in there and put on the oil or light a candle. But, when you tend to show gratitude to spirit, which is whether that's spirits of the ancestors, spirits of the herbs that have different spirits for different conditions, spirits of promotion, when you show appreciation for that, because they were once living things, so they carry spirits, then you tend to see that your work works a little bit better. Even in this scenario that I told you about, that person wasn't really grateful for that opportunity and for that job. It's kind of like you're doing something for someone, they didn't ask for it, but you're doing it for them anyway. And then At the end of the day, they mess over a blessing, and you're like, I helped you out. Why did you, mess over that blessing, or why did you mess that up? And then they'll say, well, I didn't ask you to do it. That's kind of the mentality. So, I feel like, she was working with her ancestors. So, that person didn't appreciate the work that she did for them. So they're like, okay, we're gonna take away the other job. Now, I don't feel like your ancestors are going to harm you. They may teach you a lesson. I don't feel like they're necessarily going to harm you, if um, you're not following the path or appreciate the blessings. They may just, put you on your ass a little bit, you know, just like if I was doing work for a client, or for, just anyone, or even doing work for myself. Like, let's just say that I say I want to do some money drawing and I want to bring some more money into my business, but when I get slammed with 100 orders in a day, I can't complain about that because that's what I asked for. Or even when you're doing work, something such as money drawing, you need to learn how to appreciate those blessings and appreciate when you are getting. You have to, I'm sorry, y'all, I had my son came in, but you have to learn how to appreciate those blessings, and you have to learn how to decipher where those blessings are coming from. For instance, if I have a client that says, okay, hey, I need some money because I'm short on my rent this week, or I'm short on my rent this month, whatever. I need an extra $400 or whatever the case may be. If I do some money drawing work for them, and then their job says, hey, we're offering overtime this week, or we're offering overtime for the month. They may work that overtime, and they may have more than enough, $400. They may work overtime and get 1,000 extra dollars, but then they're too lazy to put in the work to even get that money. That was your work manifesting, and you didn't even capitalize on that opportunity, because sometimes you have to put in work. It's not just going to be that a check is going to arrive in the mail or you're going to find money on the ground. Sometimes it works like that, but it doesn't always work like that. Especially if you're looking for, something like money, and you're trying to draw that into your life, then you may not have any other avenues that could come from. You may not have anyone around you that can just come loan you some money, or someone that owes you money. You may not have a pending lawsuit where you're getting a check in the mail. The only way that may be able to open up is through something like working extra hours at work. So you have to make sure that you can decipher when your work is manifesting, and that way you don't block further work coming in, because if spirit is bringing that to you, then you need to capitalize, because sometimes you have to put in additional work to, get what you need. Okay, so that's just saying, don't be lazy. Okay, So yeah, let me see if there was anything else, because I kind of got sidetracked because my child came in and messed my video up. But yeah, just make sure that you guys are paying attention to that. And then when you show gratitude, then that allows for more things to come into your life. Okay. Just like if you're working something for, um, you know, for some employment, but you're not putting in any job applications, how can you find a job? It's not going to just show up in your lap. So just make sure that you guys are recognizing when your work is manifesting. That way you can draw more in. And I think sometimes when you see that first manifestation, that's what gets you hooked. When you are new to the practice and you see your first results, then okay, this works. And I also want to talk about, because I had a customer who the other day, she placed the order with us, but then she came back and she said that she was scared. So she really didn't understand it. And then after I told her, I said, okay, go to my YouTube and, just listen to some of my videos. I kind of, break down and explain what this practice is. Then she was kind of more comfortable. She's like, okay, yeah, we have been, told to believe that something like this is evil, and working with our ancestors is evil. She said she was brought up in church, and it was just indoctrinated in her mind when she was young that this was something that was an evil practice, which, like I've said before, it is not. Everyone has a spirit, you're a spirit, so that's just is what it is. But yeah, so if you guys can just like the video and subscribe to the channel, and also, like I said, follow our Instagram and like us on Facebook, and that is Third Generation Conjure. Our website is www.thirdgenerationconjure.com. Our Etsy is www.thirdgenerationconjure.store. And until next time, guys, bye bye.